they got divorced, they were, my mom was always dieting, always. I remember going to Jenny Craig meetings. I remember going to Weight Watchers meetings, forever, like my whole life. And that's something that my mom always struggled with. And it wasn't really something that I struggled with until I went to college. I played sports, I played volleyball, I played softball. I was always busy growing up, but it wasn't until I went to college and then realized I was kind of living my mom's cycle. Um, I did things like Weight Watchers myself. I did Whole30. I mean, all kinds of things, and nothing really ever seemed to work for me. And a few years ago, my sister got involved in Beachbody, and she was like, hey, I've got this T25 thing. You need to check it out. So I did, and I liked it. But I wasn't very consistent. I just had my second son. My dogs just decided to come in and wrestle in the room with me. I'm not yelling at them, so I'm going to try to ignore them. But I wasn't really into it yet. So I did do the discount coach thing. My sister was really involved for a year or two, and then she got busy. They moved. She just quit. So I quit. And a few years later, I tried 21 Day Fix, and I was doing it on my own, just the DVDs. Had great success, but again, just got busy and kind of quit again. So this summer, I was kind of at my breaking point. I weighed more than I've ever weighed, a number I don't ever want to share. And I just decided that I had to do something different. So I started doing it on my own again. Aaliyah started bugging me, asking me all the time if I would join. And I was like, gosh, girl, leave me alone. Like, I'm doing it on my own. I'm good. But she was persistent, thank goodness. And finally I was like, sure, I'll join your group. Just sure, let me join your group. We'll see what this is all about. I've done accountability groups in the past. Nobody ever posts. It's just kind of lame, whatever. But this group posted, and it wasn't lame. I had friends in it. Jill Parr is one of my good friends, and she kind of talked me into it too. And so I went for it, and I decided if I was doing this, all in. So ever since then, I've done 4 rounds of 21 Day Fix. I've completed Lift 4. I did Shift Shop, the whole Shanti, whatever that was that we did before Transform 20. I did a whole round of Transform 20 and then most of a second round of Transform 20, and I just kind of got bored and needed something different. So I started 21 Day Fix a little early. But we're into that. So with that, I've lost and I've kind of been maintaining for the last few months 40 pounds, which is good. I'm good with maintaining. I feel comfortable where I am. There's always room for improvement, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I've just been trying to be, as we've gone along the last 6 months or so as a coach, I've tried really hard to just make sure that, one, I'm showing up for myself each day, whether it's with my nutrition, and I'm not always perfect. Today I had a Reese's peanut butter cup. I just couldn't resist. But there are things that I just try really hard to be balanced, and that's what this whole thing has given me, was balance. So with my posts, I show, at least in my stories, I will go ahead and put my sweaty selfie. I know nobody wants to see my sweaty selfie in my daily posts, but things like my stories, I'll do that. I'll post meals that I've had, just trying to be consistent so that people who are following me, and you know that people are now, like, it's, as you guys know, people are watching, and that kind of pushes me to keep going. So I've just tried to be as consistent as possible, because I don't want anybody to think, oh yeah, Courtney tried that for a little bit, and then just like every other diet or everything else she's done, she's quit. So I'm not giving up, and I'm a little competitive, so that helps too. With my posts, I also try, and one thing that I remember from the coach, I don't even know what it was. It was one of the first things where I got to see all of your stories was your whys. And that kind of got me going. And things that we were told to do daily, like the vital behaviors and, things how we're supposed to post, like the CTAs, like twice a week, or just engagement posts or things like that. I've just tried to be very consistent. I am not a coach that plans out my posts, and I should. I kind of have sort of an idea, but I also like to post things on the fly. Like this morning, we had another awesome morning in the car with arguing, so I'm going to post that. Plus, I thought I was funny because I made my kids sing "You Are My Sunshine" to each other, so I wanted to share that one. But I like to kind of post on the fly a little bit too. So I have kind of a rough idea, but it's not always planned out. I have found, though, hold on one second. Get in your bed, please. I already told you. Good night. Sorry. I have noticed that people like to see results a lot. And the posts that I get the most feedback from, and when I notice that more and more people are interested, is when I can post, a side-by-side picture of before and after. Those are the ones that I get lots of feedback from. Non-scale victories, I try to throw out every so often, or try to think of one. Talking about how you feel versus how you felt before, and not just saying things like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing, which I do, but why do I feel amazing? Or what did I feel before? How can they relate to me? One thing Allison had said in one of her posts, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so me, was she always hid behind people in pictures. And that was me. I cannot tell you how hard it is to find before pictures, because I would delete them from my phone. I don't have very many pictures because I just never wanted to take any. So talking about those things and those struggles, and just things that you noticed that you weren't quite living before, and explaining now how you're living. I just try to be as consistent as I can, and allow others to relate to that, because I know if I felt that way, I know there are lots of other women that are feeling that way, and I just want to help as many people as I possibly can. Um, so yeah, I've tried really hard to just be relatable. Um, Consistency, as we know, is definitely key. And so if someone's following you and they're watching to see what you're doing, they definitely want to make sure that you're doing the same thing day in and day out. What else do I do? I've kind of found along the way a weird niche with my Taco Tuesdays. I actually have people send me Taco Tuesday memes to use, which is kind of funny. I really need a Taco Tuesday shirt. So that's on my list. But I've tried to find things like that besides just being a boy mom. I guess I should try to do like the preschool teacher more. I don't know. But just finding your niche, I think, is helpful too. Let's see. And trying to be as real as possible. So like today, and I'll probably post about this tomorrow, but just things like, I'm not a morning person. I try so hard to be, and you guys all get up and you work out in the morning, and I'm so jealous because I hit snooze. I never get up. If I do, it's like a hallelujah moment. But I missed my alarm, of course, and went all day and had to go to the grocery, and then had to run Wyatt to soccer, and then came home and ate dinner, and then I had to work out because I hadn't worked out yet. And now I'm doing my call. So I'll post about that. It is hard. There are things that you're doing and you're busy, and we get it. So just trying again to be relatable. I feel like I'm rambling. Was there anything else you wanted me to touch on, Lisa, that I'm missing? I don't know how. I mean, that's basically how I'm consistent. Those are the things that I do. I'm not as consistent with my coaching business, just because I do the pockets of time. I do have a full-time job. I'm a preschool teacher. I am not allowed to look at my phone except at nap time. So I have like an hour window during the day, and usually that's when I'm getting stuff ready for the next day. So I really have like 10 minutes that I can spend there. So I try to just build my pockets of time. Tonight, while I was at my son's soccer practice, I'm sitting on the sidelines making a list of who I'm going to send invites to when we get off the call later tonight. So that's kind of how I build my pockets throughout the day. if I have time, I try to be to work 15 minutes early every morning, not to go inside, but so I sit in my car and I'm responding to certain messages that I got over the night, or I will make sure that I have my morning post up at least. I try to do a morning post every day. I always do an evening post, and then I try really hard to do a post in the afternoon, but I may not always get that one.
Courtney, can you talk a little bit about, so I know you're super consistent with your posting, and like you said, you've started to kind of niche yourself a little bit with like your Taco Tuesday and like your crazy kids and just like your life and how it runs. But as far as when you're talking to people behind the scenes, because you advance to diamond pretty quickly, and you do a really good job of maintaining your diamond and kind of keeping people in and retaining them on Shakeology. So how do you behind the scenes then, transition from kind of that prospect to either a coach or customer?
Well, I kind of got it in my head from the beginning that I was going to sign every person up as a discount coach, no matter what. And I'm pretty consistent with that, but I mean, there are obviously some that are like, no, thank you. But I don't know if I think I just get lucky, honestly. I don't really know how I get all those people, but I just talk about how it saves them money. And when they'll message me or I'll message them, I at first I kind of started with the scripts a little bit that we were given when I first started. I don't even remember where they came from, but like, hey, how you doing? Thanks for following my post. Would you like any more information about blah, 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 whatever I'm doing at that moment? I've noticed, and I know, Lisa, you've said this before, if you can invite them to something, not just a general, hey, would you like to know more information? But more like, hey, I'm doing a 30-day challenge that's free. Would you like to join, or would you like more information? Or I just try to invite them to something. And I've noticed as time has gone on, because obviously there were a lot of no's, but as time has gone on, a lot of those no's this month and last month I had every single person that signed up was a person who had told me no like 6 times before. I don't think I had anybody new last month, but just by constantly sending out hey, I know you weren't ready last month, but maybe if you're interested this month, we've got this going on. Just always, even if they don't respond to me, I still try to send out something, just as I know all you guys do too. Getting them to sign up as a discount coach. I don't even mention the discount thing until the very end. So once I've reeled them in and they're like, yeah, I want to do this. Oh, hey, by the way, if you want to continue your shakes next month, if you sign up to be a discount coach now, then it'll save you money. And if you don't want to continue them, then don't. It's not a big deal. You just cancel the coach thing, cancel the shakes, and it's no big deal. You're not out anything. You just, this is just kind of a just in case thing. That's really how I play it off. And most people are like, oh yeah, I don't want to lose money. I'll save money. Sure. Sign me up for the discount thing. That's really all that I am saying to those people. Sorry.
Can you also touch on, because you're also really consistent with hitting Success Club, and I think, and you were right out the gate too. So what do you, like, do you set like a weekly goal, a monthly goal? How do you, like, do you make it non-negotiable? How do you kind of run your business in your mind as far as what you want to achieve that month?
Well, every month I've told myself I am not getting below Success Club 10 for myself. I obviously want to do more than that because I don't just run my account. I'm also running my husband's account and my mom's account. So the way that I got to Diamond, November, when we did that, whatever the sale was that month, I had a lot of people. That was a good month to advance to Diamond. Plus we did that rank in the bank thing. And I'm not going to lose. So I just had it in my mind, this is what I'm doing. And I don't know, I just got there. That's kind of what I tell myself each month. Plus I've signed up for the Success Club trip for next year. And when we signed up, my husband and I sat down and I was like, okay, if we do this, he's like, you have to hit Success Club 10. Like this trip has to be paid for. So that's what I'm telling myself. I try to make sure, and for me, working a full-time job, I may not get my invites out each day, or as many as I would like to each day, but on Saturdays and Sundays, I am sending out like 30 to 50 invites if I can. Some of them are cold invites. Some of them are people who liked my post. Some of them are what I'd consider kind of a follow-up, but I'm sending out those messages each weekend, and that kind of leads me through the week. So I'm not going to get below that number. That's what I've told myself. So that's how I'm working it.
Awesome. Do you guys have questions for Courtney? Now's your time to pick her brain.
So people that tell you no, you still follow up with them monthly?
Well, sometimes, I mean, it depends on how they've said no. If someone is like, yeah, no, that's not for me, I'm not going to message them back. They're still, I have a running list ever since I've started. Any person I messaged, I've written down in this little notebook. And then once they've decided to join, I highlight them green. If they were like, hell to the no, then I highlight them red, and I won't message those people again. But those are the people that have been messaging me this month or last month. I mean, there was a girl that signed up last month that she would message me so often and ask questions, but then she's like, yeah, I can't afford that. No, I can't do this right now. Okay. And I would invite her to the free stuff. So if there's somebody who says no, I'll invite them to the free stuff. But she just decided on her own. I mean, I was shocked when I got the message from her. If they've told me, heck no, though, I'm not going to, yeah. If they're not nice about it, I'm not going to message them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I find inviting them to something that's free is, I mean, if they turn that down, they're kind of silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say when you cold message somebody? Because I've tried that a little bit more lately, and I've gotten some more of those like hell to the no, why did you message me kind of responses, and that's
Yeah.
turned me off.
Well, and honestly, I had when I first started, most of my messages were cold messages because I was just like, hey, I'm going all in. I'm going to invite everybody. And I kind of went balls to the wall at first. And one of my best friends from college was like, yeah, no, I can't believe you would message me and ask me this, blah, blah, blah. We're not friends. I got really scared for a long time. And then in the last like 3 months or so, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'll send them a message, and it's just, hey, I see we have a lot in common. I think you'd be a really fun addition to my accountability group. If you're interested in learning more, just let me know. If not, no worries, no big deal. I just thought maybe you'd be a fun addition to my group, and that's it. If they say no, fine. Most people don't respond. It's fine. But the people that don't
Hello.
If you're not interested, no worries. Let's keep following each other. I think that's
Yeah.
the part that I
Well,
need to add. Thank you.
yeah, if they don't want, I mean, I don't ever want to be considered pushy or aggressive, because that's not my style, and I don't want to come across that way. And you think, I mean, we're friending people left and right. I Some of these people, I have no clue who they are when they are following my stories, or I don't want them to be like, oh yeah, she friended me just so she could ask me to join her group, which I I mean, I don't really, and I don't know if I probably should. I'm not very good about this. I don't really message anybody that accepts my friendship. At first I started, and then I got some weird responses, and I was like, you know what? If they've accepted my friendship, great. We'll just let them watch for a little bit. I'll see if they're following, and if they're following, then I'll message them. Or if it really does look like somebody who has a lot of things in common with me, then those are the people I try to cold message.
I get a lot of people who say, oh my gosh, we're so happy for you, and they're so excited for me, and they're constantly interacting with my posts, but like I can't get them to join me. That's kind of where I am right now.
Yeah, I've had that too a little bit, where they're the ones that you're like, you're following everything. Why won't you respond to me? I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping eventually that they will.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lisa has more insight into that because she's done it so much longer, but I think eventually my hope is that they'll join on the bandwagon at some point. Just gotta keep working at them.
Yeah, my general thought process is unless they like delete me or say no way, not ever, then, when I go back to follow up, even if they've said no a month or 2 months later, I use it more of just like, oh my gosh, I was thinking about you. We have this new program or new product or whatever it is, trying to create more hype about it and just saying, I'm doing something super fun next month. We just got news about this new program designed to ... Would you be interested in hearing the details? Because at least when I present it that way, it's like, hey, I know we were talking last time or last month, it wasn't a good time for you, but I have something that's brand new. It's awesome. Do you want to hear the details? And then they can say yes or no. And then that, maybe they're ready or maybe they're not, you have to just learn not to take that no personally ever. It's never about you. It's always them. And it's always just it's just not a good time,
Yeah. Well, that's been my hardest thing, is not taking it personally, because at first it really hurt my feelings, or I felt really stupid if someone said no. But somewhere along the lines, I just decided that this was my business and I'm just going to have to push for it. And if they don't want to, then that's their problem. I know I'm awesome, so I'm just going to go with it. Just kidding. I don't really think that about myself.
You should.
Well, yeah.
Anybody else have questions for Courtney?
Courtney, are your emeralds on your diamond your husband and your mom? Like, do you have yours set up to where like they're both controllable accounts that are your emeralds?
Yes. My husband's on one side, and I'm working really hard to build him to diamond. And my mom is my other emerald. And I actually just had a girl who started, she's been a discount coach since the beginning, but she just started and this weekend got herself to emerald. So
Nice.
I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, what do you do when you've signed a coach up and you put them on your other side? Like my husband's on one side, and now I've got this other girl, but now she's not really wanting to work the biz. It seems like there's nothing I can do, right? I mean, I would just have to put people under her myself, I guess.
Well, do you control 2 accounts, or do you just control, other than yourself?
No, just me and my husband.
Your husband?
Yeah.
I don't know what you do in that situation. I have my mom on the opposite side of my husband, and I did that on purpose. And really, I only put people under my mom when I have to. If I have someone who quits or someone who becomes inactive, then I'll try to put one under her. But I don't put somebody under her unless I have to.
And Kim, and the working coaches will come, and I know I've had this conversation with Kristen. What you have to do is just continue to obviously show up, be consistent, share your journey. I got myself to 2-star diamond by building my mom and my husband, and that's just in the beginning, I felt like it was just me for a really long time, but that's only because I was working a full-time job and had very little time to devote to my business to really actively recruit. That was my mindset. I don't know if that was right or wrong or indifferent, but that's just how my business went for 2 years. I was still able to earn income because obviously if you're working 3 accounts, you're bringing in some money, right? So, but sharing the business opportunity, I know it's scary, but I make it a non-negotiable to talk about coaching at least 3 times a week, and coaching posts aren't going to be those posts where people are like throwing their hands up or wanting more information, but they're watching. And then the other goal is to get your current customers and challengers really good results, because honestly, that's where the best coaches come from, is those people who are doing your programs and getting good results. Like Allison did 21-day fix and got amazing results. Kristen did 80-day obsession with me, got amazing results. So that's honestly where the best coaches will come from.
Yeah, I've really been trying to work extra hard in our accountability group just to get people more pumped up and, wanting to get results, because it seems like a lot of them are kind of stepping back. So my focus has been on that a lot lately. I mean, honestly, I've never done a coaching post. I was thinking about it today.
You should, girl. Your confidence is out of control right now. You need to go with that and just post one.
Kim also did she set up a point system for our accountability group, which I've definitely noticed. She just put it into place yesterday, but I've already noticed a lot of people posting more and just being more involved. So I think that's, like Kim, that kind of stuff I definitely think is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, that's the one thing I struggle with, is getting people to participate in my accountability group. They may be doing it, but they don't post about it ever. I have one girl who posts. One girl. So when I've started, anybody new, I don't even put them in my personal group anymore, because I'm afraid they'll just flop if they go there because nobody's posting.
So then where do you put them?
I put them in like our New Year, New You group, or the Ultimate Portion Fix, or
Gotcha.
The groups that we're hyping. Those are the ones I put them in, and I just don't want to put them in. I don't want to even run my own personal one anymore because nobody posts. It's depressing.
Yeah, that's what. So we said you get 1 point for every time you like, comment, post, or share a recipe, or even private message, because I know some people don't want to post. And I said after 7 days, the top 3 people with the most points will get a prize.
Oh, okay.
You could do one person though, because that's kind of a lot,
Yeah.
But it's also nice running a group with Kristen, like having somebody else there with you to, you guys can like play off of each other if you do it with somebody. I feel like it helps us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it helps, this is just my personal opinion, when we all do the same program together.
Yeah.
That's why launches are so big. And, when we have a new program and we all kind of start with day one together, even with Ultimate Portion Fix, we've had kind of a staggered start, and I don't feel like the hype is as crazy as it was, but I don't know. It just feels like the engagement within accountability groups is so much better.
Yeah.
But that's not always going to be the case, because not all of our customers and clients are going to be ready to do some of the programs that are coming out, so we need to make sure that everybody feels like they have a place.
I've also tagged some of the people in my daily posts and been like, so-and-so, what do you think? And try and, because sometimes I feel like they don't always read the posts, so they don't know to engage in them, and tagging them in a comment on the post gets them to read it and then participate.
That's a great idea. I don't ever, sometimes I'll tag my people, but I need to start doing that. Who else? Anybody else have some questions for Courtney? Everybody good? Yes. Well, Courtney, I just think you do a great job of really balancing it all. And you're definitely a good example of how to work full time and run a business, even running multiple accounts. And so, even just working in those power pockets of time, like you said, have been really helpful for you in your business, I'm sure. And you've gotten really good results. It does sometimes at the end of the day come back to just being a product of the product and sharing the results you're getting, and I think you're doing a really great job of that.
Thank you. Sorry if I rambled tonight.
No, I think these are good. Like, it's always good to pick somebody else's brain just to kind of see like what they're doing and what's working for them, I'm sure you guys get tired of seeing my face in live videos all the time,
Oh, stop.
like a broken record sometimes, but but what works for me doesn't always work for you. And so that's why it's important for us all to kind of share what's going, what maybe something else will work better. Anybody else have anything for Courtney before we log off?
Well, I had a question for you guys. I was curious. Last week, Kristen's talk about vulnerability. Did anybody feel like they were posting more about that? And did you get more feedback from those kind of posts? I was just curious how you guys did this week.
Did
I did one.
How was the feedback?
It was really no different than any other time, but I did have one lady reach out to me about she could totally relate about the whole not loving yourself, and she's just getting back in the habit of loving herself and taking care of herself as well. So actually kind of made an online buddy.
Oh, good. See,
So we've been talking back and forth.
Get feedback like that. I like feedback like that.
Yeah. So it was mostly the team. The team gave me all the feedback.
But it was a great post, Laura.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks.
I can't remember if I did or not. I did share that I quit Time Nutrition, and I got a lot of feedback from that. I think people like to see us fail.
Isn't that funny? I'm not going to fail though.
No, I mean, I'm not going to fail, but just being vulnerable and just sharing that, like, hey, this isn't working and I failed and I quit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try something else.
Yeah. It wasn't a fail. It was just a switch. That's all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I tried to make them think like, hey,
yeah,
not always rainbows over here, people. Sugar cravings are real, like right now.
Oh, mine have been horrible since the weekend. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. I
refuse to buy Easter candy until I have to, because otherwise I'm going to be stuffing my face all week with Reese's peanut butter cup.
I'm lucky that my teenager doesn't. Yeah. My teenager doesn't want candy now that he's working out and eating healthy.
Good.
I'm a mean mom. My kids get no candy in their Easter basket.
You are mean.
They get like bathing suits and and bubbles, and they don't get candy though, because I don't want to deal with them on sugar.
Janet says her mic's not working. She did a post and got a ton of positive feedback. She has a long coaching story and helped people to see how much I was in love with being a coach. Yes, I remember that. Yes, because Janet was a coach previously before joining our team. So, and she had a lot of success. You were a 4-star diamond coach or something like that, right? Yeah. So she has kind of, had life going on, right? For a while. And she did a really great vulnerable post. Like, she found her way back. She just had to wait for the right time. and it was really good. Lori's about to sneeze. Yeah, I challenge you guys. I'm going to try to do another one this week, a really vulnerable one. I just got to think of what to do.
I've got 2 coming.
Uh-oh.
One about how I'm living my entire life from my bed currently, and that is like really hard for me. But I'm gonna like talk about that like that's real life, and that the 30-minute workout selfies that you see are probably not like an accurate depiction of my day. This is more like it. Literally, I'm in bed for like 12 hours every night, because I think I'm Superwoman and I'm not. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about how hard it is to like step on the scale pregnant and see the scale creep up when for the last 3 years like the scale's like gone down and then maintained. And like, so those are my posts coming this week.
I always love your posts, Allison.
No thanks. They've been mean kind of lately, like tonight, so I was like, oh, this is kind of mean, I need to stop. I gotta like take it down a notch.
We'll just blame it on the pregnancy hormone.
I know.
You were feisty tonight, girl. Woo!
Well, happens.
I know. I love it. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you guys go. I know it's getting late. But Courtney, thank you so much for just sharing everything that you do and just being so consistent. So everybody, if anybody needs some inspiration, just go check out Courtney's page, because you can literally see, you know, how consistent she is day over day, week over week. And it's just, you know, you can go to her page and realize she's on a fitness journey. She's on a health journey. This is what she does. You know, like she said, it's not just like, oh, Courtney tried that for a week or two and then I didn't see her post for a week or two, you know? All right, loves. Everybody get some sleep. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
All right, guys.